What is up, my dudes? Got this Audi S4 behind me. I just picked it up for a steal of a deal. It's got 167,000 miles on it. It ran before I started digging into it and fixing a lot of things in the engine bay. It's got a new-ish soft top on it. That's why I popped this canopy up over it. I don't have a garage. I am working outside at the moment. So stay tuned for this episode if you want to see what I've done to it so far. Like I said, it's all engine bay work and I'm getting ready to turn it over and see what happens. If you want to see what I do to it from start to finish throughout the whole length of the project, go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned for future episodes so you can see what I end up doing to it. Got a lot planned for this thing. I will reveal in one of the next few videos how much I bought it for and what I got into it so far. So hopefully I can inspire somebody to do the same. Anyone can do it. If you can turn a wrench and you got access to YouTube, then you can do the same thing. So that's a great way for people like us to get into these cars that would otherwise be affordable. Find them salvaged, find them wrecked, things like that. Fix them up yourself. It's not as hard as you may think. Just takes time and patience. Check out the video. Stay tuned at the end to see if it starts up or not. Do a quick little walk around on it. As you can see, the front bumper is missing, and there's also some damage to the passenger side door and rear quarter panel, and a crack in the mirror on this side. The previous owner drifted it into a sign. That is why that damage happened over there. Also, when the oil started leaking on him, he had it towed because he didn't know how to work on cars or didn't know anything about what was going on, just knew it was leaking oil. So he had it towed, and the tow truck driver ripped the bumper off. So that's what's going on there. The hood is straight. All the glass is good all throughout. Driver's side is straight. Wheels are straight. It's got a newer soft top on it that works great. Overall, super sick, badass car. It's got the 4.2 liter V8. I love it so far. Interior. So here's a look at the interior. Everything seems to be in pretty good order. The trim is starting to separate from the door here. A lot of the carbon fiber has cracks in it all throughout, probably just from the heat of it being a black car. You can see the cracks in here. You see the cracks in the carbon fiber trim on the other side. The driver's seat is in the worst condition out of all of them for obvious reasons. Passenger seat isn't too bad, and the rear seat really isn't bad at all. Oh yeah, I already took my baby for a test drive. But if this car seat was out, you would see that there's also a small tear in that rear seat right there. Lots of dog hair everywhere. So goal is to get all that out, get this whole thing detailed inside, get the seats reupholstered or just replaced altogether, depending on what kind of deal I can find. This does have a new updated head unit in it, along with, let's see in the glove box, CD changer or CD player in the glove box. So that's pretty cool. It is a automatic. Unfortunately, it's not the manual 6-speed. Considering doing a swap, done a bunch of research on it already. Not something I think I want to undertake. So this, I really hate how this is directly above the e-brake. Luckily this does latch. It's not broken yet, so you can lift it up, but still, dumb design. Don't like that. Other than that, interior is pretty solid. All right, so little update. Wasn't too bad. Only took me like 4 hours to get the car up on jack stands and get the whole front end off. As you can see, there's just freaking oil everywhere. So really glad I took the front end off because I want to get all of this clean. I want to get all the leaks tightened up. You can see it's just leaking from freaking everywhere. So now we're ready to paint. So, if you look online, or from the research I've done, they don't make an oil filter for this oil pan. You have to use RTV sealant. So, and as you can see, there's just oil everywhere. I don't know if it's coming from the pan or not, but I think it's a good idea to, at a minimum, drop the pan, see what's going on. There's freaking rust and oil everywhere. But we can drop the pan and then we can consider replacing it or not. But definitely drop it and see what's going on in there. So it looks like there's just a series of hex head bolts all the way around. Hopefully they're not gonna snap or strip out on me. So I dropped the oil pan, which was a pain in the arse, to say the least. And as expected, you can see, like right here, these are flakes of paint out of the valve cover. Inside of the valve cover was you've seen in the other videos, chunks of paint flaking off. Here's like a hard chunk of plastic, a couple other hard chunks of plastic, Sorry, I don't know if this was in frame, this first one. Hard chunk of plastic right there. Some more plastic. Big old chunk of plastic right there. I don't even know what that could be from. So all in all, happy I dropped this. Get a little idea of what's going on. All right, so what I've been doing, the walnut isn't working. My blaster's not working. I'm sure the walnut would work fine, but my blaster's not working. So just taking this pick and I'm using this rounded edge. I'm not picking at it with the sharp point. I'm picking at it with this radius right here. And just pretty much pushing it. Let's see if I can get this. Scraping off. You can see it's coming off really easily. So just doing that to get the majority of it clean. Then I'm taking a rag soaked in gasoline and we're just wiping down the sides and then sucking it all out. So you can see down in there, just from a couple passes with the pick, you can see how much carbon is sitting on top of the valves now. It's crazy. These valves are open, as you can slightly see if it would focus. Boom, there you go, they're open. So obviously I can't clean this one yet. It's the last one. All other 7 ports are clean, done. Now my brother-in-law came down, he pointed out, he's like, hey dude, you know this is a quattro, so it's all-wheel drive. So since you got the front on ramps instead of jack stands, you're not going to be able to turn the crankshaft to close those valves. Son of a bitch, he's right. So got the battery charger on, battery hooked back up, car in neutral, and now I'm going to show you how I'm doing this the ghetto way without taking it off these ramps. Here's what I'm doing, and it's actually working, so I figured I would share. I got this pickle fork, which is used for doing like CV joints and stuff. Not sure where I got it, I've had it forever, but it just so happens to fit perfectly between these extremely rusted bolts on the harmonic balancer. Then I'm taking this massive, what is it, 18-inch, 15-inch crescent wrench, grabbing it, and I think you know the rest. Using it to turn and voila, just like that, they are closed. All right, so got the new ECS tuning valve cover bolts. Went in great on this side, torqued them all to spec, 0 problems. Get to this side, obviously I have it taken apart now because torquing them down, everything's going good. I get back to this one, of course it's the one in the back, and as you can see, it just sheared off inside there. So that's it right there, baby. Major shout out to ECS Tuning and their cheap Chinese bolts. This freaking bolt was $6, one bolt. I had to buy 30 of them. So that's what you get. Praise Jesus. It came out. Super stoked I got it out. All right, y'all, so finally got everything put back together. This is gonna be the first start in 2 months since we started digging into it. So as you guys know, it's been up on ramps and jack stands for like 2 months now. Got the engine bay put all back together. Batteries charged, hopefully. It's acting kind of funny, so I don't know. But let's see what happens.
On-site trade. Set to be completed by 2025.
It wanted to go. All right, so kind of as expected, I don't think the battery has enough charge, so gonna have to address that, maybe jump it or something. I think there might be something wrong with my charger, so because it got it charged pretty good, but the needle would go up and then it would come back down. So I think it's sitting at like 9 volts right now. It's kind of hard to tell with how the battery charger's acting, so I might have to jump this thing and then we'll regroup.